Hi, everybody. Today is Thursday, September 3rd, 2020, and today we're going to do something a little meta. We're going to do a video talking about videos, specifically a screencast. Earlier this week, I published, let me bring it up and show it to you just for a point of reference. I produced and published a little introduction video for Guildflow. It's up here on the main site, so if you click this. Hi, and welcome to Guildflow. Guildflow is a platform that helps people run successfully. Offer potential members the option to join. So you see a little introduction video. It's about 70 seconds long, and today I want to show you how I build it and how you can build your own. So the first thing is you want to work on a document. The first thing I do is typically work. I create a document and I try to outline what my goals are for the video. I want to include things like basically how long the video should be, what in general people should be seeing on screen, if it's just static, screenshots, or if it's live action, mouse and keyboard kind of doing things. Basically what I want to talk about, and then what I want the user to do, like what's the call to action. Then what I do is I write a screenplay. And you can kind of see the screenplay for the introduction video I built here. The screenplay basically describes what the user is hearing and what they are seeing, and then it also includes any kind of other notes that you need. So for example, in this case, I got some some text. Welcome to Guildflow. Guildflow is a platform that helps people run successful meetup groups. And then I've got a little note that says show the logo. If I were doing a live action, a software tutorial type thing where I wanted to see buttons being pressed and things typed in, I would document those things as well in the screenplay. But you write the screenplay, maybe you pass it around to your friends if you're trying to get some opinions on it. But this will help. So you write this transcript, and then you need to prepare your environment for a recording session. This may mean generating, documents or getting assets ready. In the case of my demo, I actually built slides. So Keynote is a great tool for doing this kind of thing. And what I did was, because this is so short and terse, I basically just took a lot of screenshots of my application and kind of just brought them into Keynote so I could kind of, transition from one to one really quickly. And then even do a little bit of animation. So you can see here, I've got the form, but then using Keynote, I've actually created these little labels that can animate. So you can preview kind of what that looks like right in Keynote. This is really good for demonstrating just form fills, typing. You can also use it to demo basic ideas. So you can use Keynote's, graphing, animation tools to kind of draw boxes and boxes going into other boxes and really help visualize an idea. This is a visual medium video, so you do want to try to make things pleasant to look at. But most of this is pretty static. So there are lots of pictures of the website and the web application in general. If I don't have anything to talk, if I don't have a visual to reference, in this case, I just used screenshots of news articles. I'm not talking about the news articles, but they help stir the mind to the things I'm bringing up. But I create this, and then inside of the slide notes, presenter notes, I put in what from what I'm going to say from the transcript I wrote, the screenplay. And so I'll do this, and then I will use a tool called Screenflow, which I'll show in a second, to basically record my screen and run the Keynote presentation. And when I do that, what I do is I make a point to be very explicit in how I say things, and so I take my time. There's lots of big pauses in between each particular slide presentation. And what we'll do is during editing, we'll trim those pauses to make the video nice and tight. I do this in live action stuff too. So if I had if I was demoing some software product, in my transcript or screenplay, whatever you want to call it, I would have words like, click this button, then do this pull down, then drag in this photo. And what I'll do is when I'm performing the action with Screenflow running, I'll perform the action, and then I'll pause 1, 2, 3, and then I'll perform another action 1, 2, 3. And what this does is this gives me a lot of room in Screenflow to kind of stretch and cut those action sequences to match up to whatever the narrator is saying. For this particular introduction video, it wasn't as big of an issue, but since we're kind of doing this, I figured I'd mention that. So I have my slides, I record them, and I bring them into Screenflow. So let me just bring Screenflow up. Let me get my notes up too, because I actually have notes here for what I want to share. All right. So a couple other things I want to mention about the environment before we break that. The couple things you want to look for is if you're recording your desktop, a lot of people have the clock up here. You definitely want to make sure that it's definitely not showing the second hand, because as you do edits, the seconds will kind of jump, and that'll be distracting. Moreover, you can just hide the clock, or you can show it as analog, so it's like less as noticeable when you're jumping around from minute to minute. And then make sure you have your resolution set. So what I like to do is change my resolution for my main display to be 1080p. So that way things are a little bit bigger, because normally I work in a much higher res, but when you're doing videos, you want things to be more readable. So definitely do that. Screenflow has a great option which will hide desktop icons. So if you have a messy desktop and your desktop is kind of showing for little bits and pieces, that'll be nice. And then if you're also going to be interacting with like Firefox or your Safari or the Finder, if you've got any like sensitive bookmarks or folders that you don't want people to see, definitely keep that in mind. Maybe hide your bookmark bar for a little while you're doing your recording. For casual videos, I don't think it means as much, but if you're doing a more professional recording, you definitely want to do that. And then if you're doing lots of videos, you might even create an entire user account that's just totally dedicated to the recording session. That gets a little bit more tricky, because then you got to worry about passwords and stuff, but it is an option to consider. Yeah. So, and then the other thing is just volume. I mean, this is general recording, but like when you have your microphone, you want to make sure your microphone is getting a strong input volume. We're going to do some volume editing in a second, but you want to be able to capture as clear a signal as possible. All right, so once I have my recording in Screenflow, I'll just show you a little bit about how the edits I do. So this is a short little demo I made, or short little sample recording of me doing the Keynote thing. So the first thing is I highlight the audio track, and then in the volume, I click this line called Smooth Volume Levels, and what this will do is this will run an audio processor and try to maximize the highs and the lows to make it more vibrant of an audio. And then you can also use remove background noise. I'm not recording this in a clean room, so I've got my MacBook Air here running fans very loud. I sometimes even have my main fan on if it's like in the peak of summertime, and if it's like a casual video, I'm going to leave my fan on. But that will help reduce some of the general noise. Then you basically can use Screenflow to kind of trim things. So you can see here that like this is me introducing myself and coughing. Not coughing. Use your new group website to plan events and share a member directory. Offer potential members the option to join your. So you can see here, so like the first thing is right up front, like this is where I really start. So what I do is I move the playhead there, and then I hold down shift and I'll highlight this area, and then I'll go to edit, ripple, delete. And what that'll do is it'll delete the tracks and kind of move everything forward. And you can use ripple delete across a lot of this stuff. So you can grab this little pause here and ripple delete. You can then also, sometimes you want to directory. Yeah, you don't want to cut it off too soon, so we'll cut that. And then I'll ripple delete. And then we've got the end. Links. Or pass around invite links. So I don't want this little thing at the end, so I'll cut that, and I'll just cut this all the way till the end, ripple delete. And then what I like to do is I like to fade to black at the end of my videos, so I will highlight the tracks and choose an ending transition, and this default just kind of like fades. It's around invite links. And so that way the video ends without like a awkward, freeze frame. And instead just fades to a kind of like a natural black. To get this out of Screenflow, basically you can go to File, Export, and then you have options to choose. Automatic is good for most things. Basically, it'll encode a H.264 video encoding at 6,000 bits per second with AAC audio. If you want to, you can do manual changes. Sometimes I actually have custom animations. You can use animate GIF if you're doing kind of that thing, but you can also do, sometimes I do a longer presentation. It's like an hour, but it's very much just audio over slides that don't animate or anything. So I will do a custom export that's like 8 frames a second just to make the file smaller. But if you're just doing most standard stuff, you can do automatic. I usually choose slowest. This does a multi-pass over the export, so it makes it a little bit smaller and tighter. And then I also export at a 1080p. You can export at 4K, but most of the stuff I'm doing is fine at 1080p. But yeah, so I export. Then I'll do an export here just to show you what this looks like. This is a pretty short export, so it shouldn't take too long. The next thing I do is I upload it to Vimeo, and I use the website to do that. They have tools that can do it from the desktop, but I just usually use the website. But the thing I actually want to demo is, let me highlight this and open in QuickTime. A lot of times, so Vimeo has a great feature where you can choose a thumbnail from the video feed. But I find that I need to have thumbs for other parts of my website and social media things. And so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll use QuickTime to get the thumb. So this is the MP4 file. I don't know why it's so big. This is what it normally looks like. But yeah, you can basically move the player head to any frame that you want. And if you find the frame you want, you can do File, Edit Copy. And then you can use a visual photo editor like Acorn. And so I can do New from Clipboard. And what it'll do is it'll create a document based off of the image that was in the clipboard. And then from here, I can do Acorn, export, web export, and it'll create a nice compressed JPEG thumbnail for me. So for extra credit, if you've already gone through the trouble of building a transcript that is the textual basis of what you were saying in the video, I definitely highly recommend you publish the transcript with your video. So basically like on your website, or you have the video and then you can have the text transcript below. A lot of people like that for searching indexes as well as just general accessibility. And considering that we've already gone through it, you might as well. And that's about it. Yeah, I mean, I'm biased towards videos. I like videos. I like to see visual demonstrations of things. And so, yeah, I've been doing screencast recordings for a long time for a lot of personal use. I've even done some production stuff where we've had professional voice actors do a lot of the voice. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful and encourages you to try doing some screencast recordings yourself. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. And if you're interested in me doing a screencast for you, you could let me know as well. I'd be happy to do that on a consulting basis. But yeah, hopefully you found this helpful. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.